Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie from Deliberately Creative, and today we are going to do something a little bit special. We are going to do a doodled frame, and then we will be filling in that doodled frame with a tiger's eye stone. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It is going to be a lot of fun. So let's get started. When I'm starting a frame out, sometimes I'll use a pencil and I'll sort of sketch out my idea. I already know pretty much what I want to do this time, but most of the time I'm just figuring it out. I didn't think that you wanted to just watch me figure out what I'm going to do. I did come up with my idea ahead, and this particular frame is going to end up looking sort of like a woven flower. And I liked how my test sample came out, so I'm hoping that this one will come out also. So in this particular, that's almost a circle. In this particular drawing, I am going to do my circles. So this is sort of the bezel. The gem will be going in here. This will be the little margin between. And then I start doing my petals. My petals are going to be just like a little kid's flower. And I'm leaving a little bit of space between my petals. You know, I'm not being exact. I'm hoping that I come out fairly close. I have not pre-drawn anything on this particular piece of paper. Particular seems to be my word today. Well, this one's going to be a tall and narrow one. There we go. That's okay. My second step is I like to do double lines around things. That's why I left that space in between here. So I could drop in a double line. And around. I'm not too worried about it being thick or thin. That's all part of the charm of a doodle. This is not drafting. This is not perfection. Generally, I don't talk when I'm doing my doodling. I tend to clench my tongue between my teeth every once in a while. See if I can make it all the way around, and there. All right. So to fill in my petals, I am going to do a really simple pattern. It's going to look kind of like it is an over-under woven, sort of. But it's very simple because it's going to be this top part going one direction and the bottom part going the other direction. And I'm starting from the corner in both directions. So the bottom corner closest to the base of the flower, this one, I went from left to right. You can go back in and add a few more lines. It could be like mummy wrappings. It could be like just woven. Once we put the shadows in, it really makes it pop out and show as different layers, basically. And you can, like I said, you can have these lines closer together, or you can leave them far apart. It doesn't matter, and they can be different in each petal. So I'm just going to rotate this to make it easier for you to see what I'm drawing so my hand doesn't get in the way. At least I'm hoping my hand doesn't get in the way. So I'm starting from the left corner and I'm going across in a diagonal up to the right side. And just stopping at that line. The inner line of that petal right there. And then, let's see if it makes it easier for me to draw it. Starting down here at the bottom, at the right hand corner of the petal and going across And I'm stopping at the line, that very first line that I drew that was in the first set of lines. I'm just stopping there. So you can see it's going over that way and then going under the other way. And I like to have all of the tops going the same direction all the way around. So then once the shadows go on, it looks like it could almost work as a pinwheel, almost like wind could catch under the edges of these and spin it around. I don't know. Things that I think about. But this is probably one of the most basic type of doodles, but it's really effective. I'm really kind of tickled by it. It makes me smile. It makes me happy. It doesn't take that long to do. You can take your time. You can be very careful with your lines if you want to. I think part of the charm of this is that it can have wiggles. It can have shakes. It doesn't have to be, like I said, it's not drafting. If your line wiggles, you're not going to make a building fall down. Not like an architect or something who has to make sure all of his lines are in exactly the right places, at exactly the right point, and in perfectly straight precision. This is not perfectly straight precision. This is doodling. And doodling is fun. And doodling is relaxing. And you can just get lost in drawing each little line, as many lines together as you want. You can have sections where they get really, 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 really close together, and then you can have sections that they're farther apart. If you notice that these areas where they get closer and closer together, you've got some natural shading happening because the lines are coming closer together. And if you look up here where these lines are spread out, it's not shaded. It looks like it is more in the highlight. And then if you come back down here, it looks a little more shaded. It looks like it's going down and away. So you can get natural highlights and shadows and not even have to go back in and do any highlighting or shadowing. You don't have to do any of that if you don't want to. I am going to probably just throw a little bit of a highlight, or a little bit of shadows, not highlights, but just a few shadows. One of the things shadows do, if you take your shadow along some edges, it helps to camouflage some of these little spots that your pen might sit a little longer on the paper. I like the look. Sometimes I'll go back in and accentuate that look. It's okay. It's okay. If you like it, you can leave it. If you don't like it, you can shadow heavier. Part of getting that natural shadowing is trying to always start closer down towards that corner that you started from, and you will naturally get more lines closer together and overlapping. So we're going to go around. We're just going to do this, but I am going to do it in real time. I'm going to stay in real time because that is what people have asked for. And so I will do that. I will do real time here. We'll see if people want me to do more real time doodling. I can do that. I will try to keep it on a smaller card like this, just so we don't end up with one of those massive doodles that takes, a couple hours. I don't want to do that to you. The massive doodles I like to do in speed doodle. This one I'm doing real time. and I hope you like it. If you like it, go ahead and click that like button. That lets me know that you're interested in seeing more like this. If you really do like it, and you really, really want to let me know what you think, please leave me a comment. Let me know. And if you know anybody that you think might like to see this video, down below it says share. After you click like, you can share this video with other people. And you can share it in any of your social media platforms that you are connected with. And I'd love if you did that. Clicking like and sharing and commenting all of those things make it so YouTube rates my videos higher so that people can find them easier. It's really one of those things where people have to know the video is there and say they like it so that other people can find out about the video being there. One of those crazy things. So I think now what I want to do is I'm just going to make some little half moon type of, or arches. I'm going to make some little arches between. It's just a little arch just to connect the petals. Go around and do that. And connect. Could be ribbons connecting. It could be just other petals that are behind. Almost done going around that way. And then something else that I was thinking would be nice. I'm going to do a circle on each. Well, actually, I'm going to do just since I'm here, I'm going to do a double circle on each of those arches. A double circle. They do not have to be perfect. They do not have to be the same size. They do not have to be absolutely perfectly round. They can be ovals. They can be tall and skinny. They can be short and fat. They can be all those things on this same doodle, because this is hand-drawn. And you are not a robot. At least I assume you're not a robot. And since you're not a robot, and you don't have robotic control, precision-tuned arms, let's say your gems, your circles, are going to be a little bit different than mine, and that's okay. So let's see here. I think I want to do another arch inside here. And then I am just going to color this in, make a little triangle, and I'm not doing a perfect coloring job, but I kind of want that edge to match the arch above it. And then I'm just using really close together lines to color this. And by doing that, there's still going to be a little bit of white left. It's not perfectly colored in. Not perfectly colored in. See? In either of those. Not perfectly colored in. But it's looking kind of cool. I'll do this real quick. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Some will be colored in more darkly than others. And some, I'll have to run back in and give it back its arch again. And let me go and just pop that in so I don't have to worry about it. That. See, that's part of figuring some of these things out on the fly. I wasn't sure that was what I was going to do, but now I am, and I like it. And it does make this look kind of like it's a petal in between in the back. Let's see, I think that might have made it easier for you to see me color it in. If I go from the right to the left, yeah. Sorry, I do go a little quiet, as I've said before. When I start doodling, I switch into a different part of my brain. And you do too, actually. When you're doodling, it's really hard to hold a conversation. But they've actually done tests with people that shows if you're doodling while you're listening to like a lecture or information that you need to remember, and you are just doodling as you're listening, you will actually retain more information. And you never in a million years would think that would be the case. But it is. Let's see. I think I want to give these little legs. Give them little legs. Connect them up a little bit. They look a little lonely just sort of hanging out there. Connect them in. Sorry, I'm not trying to make you get sick on seeing me spin this around. I'll slow it down a little bit. Luckily, this is not going to be a speed video, so I don't have to worry about me rotating it too much too fast and having it spinning all over the place while people are trying to watch it in a speed sense, because that would be really, really disturbing, I think. So I think I am, well, no, I want to put a double line on that. Again, I like my double lines. That gives the line a little more weight. I might go in and color these in completely black. And if that were the case, I could have originally done those lines one time and just used a thicker pen. You don't have to stick with the same pen the entire time you're doing a design. You can use different pens. You could use brush markers. You could use alcohol markers. You can use anything. Don't let anyone tell you that you have to use XYZ pen on PDQ paper or whatever. You can doodle on anything. So, but I will say, I was using a Micron, Sakura Micron 01, and as you can see, I've been using this for a while. The labeling on here is starting to wear off. So I am going to pull out the Faber Castell Polychromo color pencils this time. And I want my, not black, I want the indigo blue. I'm going to use the indigo blue for my shadow. My shadow this time, and I am not pressing really hard. See, I'm not pressing really hard. You can still see all of the pen lines underneath of my colored pencil. But this is just going to, let's see here, I want to go this way. Because what that does is this looks like it's going under these up here. And then by coloring that right along the edge and down, it looks like this now is bowing up. This can get this little bit of a shadow along the bezel line. And there we go. So along this line here, because that's where it's going underneath, around the bezel, and then along this line here. And like I said before, it's camouflaging those joins. It is not hiding them completely. It's just camouflage. It's distraction. It's like a magic trick. See the difference between these three here? On that one, I want to put a little bit more of a shadow on. And these here. These ones next to them. There's a difference. All right. So, okay, I'm going to try, I'm going to go quiet for a minute, and I am going to color this really quick so that we can move on to the gem. And look at that. Okay. So now, there's a couple little spots here. Since this bezel sort of wraps around and underneath, I'm going to go ahead and get that in like this. I'm going to go ahead and put some little lines here, which is going to send those little extra petals to the back even more. Just a quick color. All right, so there we are. That's my quick doodle frame. Real quick, real easy. Well, I guess it wasn't real quick. It did take us about 20 minutes, but that's okay. So, if you decided to skip the video of how the doodle frame was made, welcome. We are now going to start working on the tiger eye. Now, tiger eye is a great stone. It is lots of beautiful colors, mostly in your golds and browns and yellows. It's a type of quartz that actually grew out of asbestos. Asbestos being that fibrous material that would have been, that's cancerous or cancer causing, that's naturally occurring as a type of stone that breaks apart into fibers and then could be used for insulation and things like that, or made into tiles or flooring or wall coverings. And now is totally, you don't use it. But asbestos can be overtaken by quartz. And when it's overtaken by quartz, the quartz grows into all of those fiber lengths, and it causes that silky shimmer that can happen. And I am just grabbing through my colored pencils to find a few different ones. And I think we're going to make this one kind of a warm color. Now, I will tell you the names of all the Faber Castell colors as I actually use them. I may not use all of them that I've got here, but what I picked up was raw umber, walnut brown, burnt ochre, cad orange, chrome yellow, dark Naples ochre, and cad yellow. So and then I do have my lovely dark indigo just in case. I do have the Signo Uniball white gel pen that is rapidly going down. And I do have a Prismacolor clear colorless blender, just in case. I don't know if I'll use it or not. All right, real fast here. This stone doesn't take that long to lay in. We are going to take the, move my eraser here to hold those pencils back. We are going to take the dark Naples ochre, and I am going to give a yellow space here that is going to be sort of the eye of the tiger. Tiger's eye is, it's very stripy. It can be found predominantly in the yellows, oranges, and brown tones. If you find tiger eye that's any strange color, like purple, you know that it's fake, or it's been chemically altered or heat altered. You'll find red tiger's eyes. Those have been slowly heated to change the color. So right now we're just laying in colors. I'm just going to lay these in. Now I'm grabbing a dark chrome yellow, which is really more of an orange. We're just laying in base color right now. Because we won't have any of the white of the paper showing through on this particular style. We won't have any of the white showing through on this style of gem. And there was really no rhyme or reason at this point right now to the direction that I'm coloring. If I had been paying attention on my center yellow bit, I would not have gone up and down, but I would have gone side to side. So I think I might just go ahead and blend that out side to side to make it a little bit easier. I want to throw some of my brighter yellow in, even though you can't really see it. It's going to go in a band this way, and then I'm going to take it in a band at either end, basically. Now I am starting to work my lines going across, either You could say they're either going horizontally or vertically, depending on the direction you're holding your paper or holding your gem. And I just want to get some warmth in here is what I'm doing. Getting that warmth in there. And I think I'm going to grab this brown tone, which is a burnt ochre. And I am going to start making streaky pencil lines. Just streaky pencil lines. Lighter, heavier, it doesn't matter. You want to have a variation. You want variations in these pencil lines. And then at this back edge here, I want to kind of smooth it out and give it basically a place that those pencil lines are originating from. There we go. Get all of my words out today. And I am not taking these lines all the way across. I am having them come up and stop partway into that yellow band that we did to begin with. Now I'm going to turn this around because it's easier for me to start down here at the bottom edge and flick following the curve of my stone. When I get to the middle, the lines tend to be straight going up. And as I work out to the edges, they tend to curve around. That's part of what's giving us that illusion of shape, that illusion of three-dimensionality. You want to be getting this area down here darkened up and pull your pencil lines out from there. This outside edge can be getting darkened up a little bit too. Now I'm going to grab my, let's see, what color is that? Raw Umber. Yep, Raw Umber. Good job. Got the right color. This is a darker, deeper brown. And again, I'm working my way around. I am not coloring in completely. I am not coloring this in. I am making streaks, flicking in towards the center. Flicking in towards the center. Sort of straight lines in the very middle right here. And then flicking out and around. And as I flick, I'm lifting up. Lifting up. So what I'm doing is I'm putting my pencil down, and in the center here, I'm just flicking up like this. As I go to the outside edges, I'm flicking around the edges like that. I do have a fairly dull pencil. Excuse me. I do have a fairly dull pencil. I like it because right now, if you can look at that, can you see? I have almost little facets on here, little faces. I keep rotating the pencil, and I'll wear down an edge, and I'll flip it, and then I'll get a darker stripe from that really sharp edge that's showing up, right? Let's see if I can put it against my fingernail. Can you see those? Well, we'll hope that that's okay. So now we'll get back to our regularly scheduled gem. And flip to the other side. Remember, we're going to go ahead and get this darkening up down here at the base. I call whichever edge is closest to me this way, the base. We're laying in all of those filaments, all of those little little lines that the light hits on and streaks through. We're letting the lines be jagged here in the middle, because if you look at that, it's starting to give you that illusion of it rolling here back and forth. I am going to go back and grab the burnt ochre. Give it a few stripes of that. I want some darker, harder lines of it. I just push a little harder. I'm starting to build up quite a bit of pencil here. Quite a bit of pigment is being laid down. That's okay. It adds to the depth of the stone. All right, I'm going to grab that Walnut Brown now. And instead of the Indigo, I'm going to use the Walnut Brown as my shadow around these edges here to make it look like it's going deep down in. And I will grab a white Prismacolor in a moment. And then I am going to take a few, just a few strikes, just a few of this dark, dark, dark color. It gives it some more depth. You see the difference between the two sides now? This side has that walnut brown in it. This side just has the brown shadow, but it doesn't have the brown stripes in it yet. Filaments, the brown filaments. And again, this is the same pencil line, pencil stroke. I'm just setting the pencil down, straight up, and then working my way around. It's kind of like how you would plant grass in a picture. You could do grass this way, setting your pencil down and letting it flick. But right now we're doing the flicking so that we can mimic the round shape of the stone. So now I'm going to grab that colorless blender, kind of push the color around just a little bit. And well, maybe we'll try it with the actual Polychromos white, because I don't need it. I don't need a lot of white. I just need a little bit to give me a dull shine on the stone. Dull shine. Don't know if that's actually doing what I want. Okay, I am going to grab my Prismacolor and be right back. All right, here's the white Prismacolor color pencil. I have found that I really don't like how the Polychromos color pencils work. They just don't work for me. They don't lay down a layer of pigment the way I expect. And now I'm going to actually take a bit of this white, just a little bit, and flick it in. And we are just about done. Let's see. I think that the highlight on this one is running across the filaments. This is arbitrary. This is whatever works for you. For me, that works. I like that. Let's see. This is another one of those stones that light plays with it. It makes it, this almost looks like it's doing it, doesn't it? It almost looks like it's shifting for your color. And that's what Tiger Eye does, is that it shifts the light within, but it doesn't actually translate the light through it. So light gets caught on the surface of it and plays in those filaments. I think a quick zap of a little more yellow, this time blending across, just to deepen up that center bit just a little bit, and even on this edge, on the other side of the highlight. And maybe just a touch down here, just to warm it up. Just warm it up a little. And we'll just take that dark walnut brown, just lay that in there nice and tight right against that edge. Just nice and tight against that edge, and right hard tight against that edge. There you go. And then I will grab my pen, I think, and give it just a few little lines on that. Make it feel a little bit like metal, but not really. Just give it a little bit of interest. Just give it some few little dashes along the edges. And what that's doing is it's kind of camouflaging the pencil that I overshot. It's not erasing it. We are not erasing. We are just camouflaging because it adds a layer. It just adds another layer. It's one of those things. You're given a situation, you have something that you have to work through, and pretty much everything that you do, you're adding a layer. It doesn't really matter what it is, you're just adding layers. New layers overtake the old layers. Create a better situation. Ooh, I'm getting philosophical. But there we are. And I'm going to sign that. And there we go. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the whole experience from start to finish of drawing the doodle and then doing the gemstone. Or if you jumped ahead to just the gemstone, I hope you thumbs up, liked, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel so that you can find out when I have new videos going up. And as always, go out and do something creative. Take care. And sometimes there's iron and magnesium and calcium and zinc, and they all make different colors. And I do not know what colors all of those different things make. I do know that iron tends to make more green colors, or rusty red colors. But I'm not sure about the other ones. Nope, I'm not even going to guess. I think I need to do some more.